All right, now it should be back. Now we want to go to screen share. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right. So energetic self-care. We want to take care of ourselves. And our immune system needs support. And your immune system is not only physical, but energetic. So we're going to be talking about the 4, I call them energy bodies, and one of them is your physical. So I believe that that sense of well-being that you can have starts with your energy first. But you got to give it a good foundation. So that's the physical body. I'm going to just share just short, easy ways that are ways to build your own customized program that works specifically for you. So if I give an example and you go, I don't think that that would work for me, then make sure you say something, because I do have a fairly big toolkit to offer. And I just was pretty simple because I wasn't sure how large our group would be and the type of questions. So the first thing to remember is everything is energy. And that sounds kind of cliche, but really your physical body is just dense energy. So you can make changes in your physical body just like you can make changes in the energy body, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual. But of course, needless to say, this being denser, it's going to be a slower process. Maybe. Some people's bodies change almost instantly. That's not one of my skill sets. Mine changes slowly. I have to be pretty gentle on me. So you pay attention to how fast your system moves. Energetically, my system moves fast. Physically, not so fast. You have to be pretty slow. So when you have energy blocked, your sense of it is pain or discomfort. Now that might not just be physical pain. That may be emotional pain. You might be feeling confused, or you just feel like there's a jumble in your head in the mental world. And then in the spiritual world, it's this thing of, is there really another source? Is God here? Whatever your belief system is, it may feel like you've lost connection or trust or faith, whatever that may be. But if you want to change your experience, you want to start with detox. And that's purification, no matter whether we're dealing with the physical, because that's where most of us have heard the word detox. But it's all 4 of these bodies: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So let's start with the physical. And I picked these 3 systems because of their connection to the immune system. So the lymphatic system is in the skin and in the deep part of our body around our organs. But your skin is the largest organ in your system. Your whole body, it's the largest one. So if you can access your skin, which you can, because you carry it everywhere you go, then you can access your immune system, your lymphatic system. So one of the most common ways to do that is through scrubs. So 2 of my favorite scrubs, one is equal parts of sea salt and baking soda. And literally, I put 2 cups of each in a Tupperware container, mix it up good. I'm in the shower, I reach in, yes, I'm damp. I rub it all over my body and I rinse it off. And what that does is it exfoliates your skin so that the skin operates even better. So that's one, using sea salt, just regular sea salt and regular baking soda. My other favorite one is 1 cup of sugar and a half a cup of good, like olive oil. And again, I do the same thing. I mix it up. I actually put that in a glass container because of the oil. I don't want that in a plastic container. And I sit it down, it has a lid on top of it. And then I just do the same thing. I take a handful of that, and because there's more sugar than there is oil, it's more like a regular scrub that you might buy. And I just do the same thing. I scrub it all over my body and rinse it off. So both of them, but they each one operate differently. So in the summer, I want more moisture, so I use the olive oil one. And you know, sometimes because you're out, you're putting all kinds of lotions on and things like that, you might instead use the salt one. So you go, and this is why, like, if you go to the beach, your skin gets really great when you're in the ocean. It's because of the salt component. So that's a great way to boost your immune system, and I do it every day. So that's a great way to detox the skin, which helps your immune system. The liver and the kidneys are the other two major organs that help you detox. Oh, let me back up. Lymphatic handles not only the toxins of your physical body, it handles the release of your energetic debris. So it handles both types of debris, physical as well as energetic. So if you get a really great distant Reiki session or something of that sort, and you feel really tired and things that you're detoxing, so you can do the lymphatic, even though it's a physical thing that you're doing, it will help the energetic integration of the change that you're trying to do when you go and get an energy session. So that's the lymphatic. It has that double. The liver and the kidneys are detox organs. So if you're, and I put down here dark green leafy vegetables and beets. The dark green leafy vegetables have the chlorophyll, which the liver just loves, and it purifies the liver. And the other thing is the beets, the same thing. The color of the beets, the stain, that chemical is really cleansing for the liver. So it doesn't mean eat it or drink them all the time, but you want to have it on a regular basis to help the liver function better, because it's really moving the debris from the physical, because this is what is in your bowel, right? You want to get that out every day. And the same thing with the kidneys is moving the waters of the body, all the toxicities. So you're looking at lemon. One of the best things you can do for your kidneys is to give it lemon. So you can just say squeeze a half of a lemon in a bottle of water, and then just leave a little bit and keep adding water. The vibration of the lemon is still there, and the kidneys will function better for you. So those are the 3 ways to support your immune system and the physical body so that it can handle the energetic shifts that you're trying to create. So that's just the physical piece. Any questions with that? No? All right. See, everybody's afraid that I'm going to say, don't drink this, don't eat this, don't. And if you ask me, I might say, yes, that's true. It would be better if you didn't have, sugar or whatever it might be for your energetic system, but I'm not going to start there. All right, let's go to emotional. In the emotional vibration in your system, when you have stuck emotions, it makes you feel either off or cranky or maybe depressed. Maybe you don't sleep well, but all of it is around the emotional environment that you have going on. So ways to shift and to release whatever that emotion may be is like the first one is gratitude. And that's talked about a lot in our world of healing, but the practice of having gratitude every day is really important. So I have little cards that I've cut out of index cards, and it just says, I have gratitude for, and then I fill that in. And I put it in my little bowl that I have for it. And then maybe once a month, maybe depends upon how often, when I do that, I'll take it out to my fire pit and burn it so I can release the gratitude. So every day, it's something that I want to be very mindful to practice. Because when you're feeling, let's say you're feeling down or something didn't go your way, if you balance that with the gratitude, then what happens is you're able to release the disappointment and live more in the gratitude. So because the gratitude is a higher vibration, and that's what you're seeking. The next one is forgiveness. And this is, again, a lot of people talk about forgiving, but for instance, one of the practices that I do every day is I think of something that maybe might be stuck, and I offer this particular prayer, and it goes like this. I forgive you for the ways you've hurt me. You forgive me for the ways I've hurt you. I forgive me for all the ways I've hurt me. And that has all the components. Doesn't mean that what the person did or you did is said okay. Maybe you said something hurtful or they said something hurtful. The main thing that you're doing is forgiving the whole situation. And again, it's a higher vibration. Everything that I read, forgiveness is the highest vibration of healing that you can offer to yourself or to someone else. And they don't even have to be involved. You just get to release it, and it will help them because we're all connected. So that's like a really simple prayer. The WhoooHoO is another one that is really great. The metta is very powerful. I have several different metta practices that I love. And for anybody who doesn't know about metta just means, may I be at peace. May my heart remain open. May I awaken to my own true nature. May I be healed, and may I be a source of healing for others. So I'm wishing it for myself. And then the one that I like the best has 4 stanzas. So the first one's for myself. The second one is for the people in my life that I love. And then the third one is the one person that I'm having difficulty with. So I'm wishing them to be peaceful. I'm wishing them healing. And then the fourth one is for the world or for a group. So again, you're just putting the energy out and focusing in a way that is more balanced, if you will. You're forgiving not only yourself, you're wishing yourself well, you're wishing others well, and it puts things back into a more balanced perception of the way the world operates, instead of us being on our side of the position and them being on their side. It brings things back into balance. And then the third one in the emotional detox is looking at mindfulness. So if something's going on and you're feeling very emotional about it, you don't know what to do with it, the simple practice, and Thich Nhat Hanh is very well known for this one, is he says, just remember, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And he just encourages you to do that. Maybe you do 10 of those. Maybe you do it for 1 minute. But what that'll do is, again, it will help you to release the emotional energy. And again, put the situation or your emotions in a perspective so that you have some space between you and either the person or the situation or the emotions. So again, it's all about detoxing, either through gratitude or forgiveness, or this idea of just breathing in and out through mindfulness. And you can do it all the time, but the cool thing is that you can say, okay, I can do this for a minute. Otherwise, I might pop if I try to do it for longer. And that's good. 1 minute or one breath, breathe in, breathe out, is better than not doing any for your energetic self-care. Because the longer, if your balance is here and you're sitting over on this side in your position emotionally, that's not healthy. So to do energetic self-care, the idea, especially in the emotions, is to find a way to release or balance it. It doesn't mean that what anybody did was right or wrong. It just means that you're developing a new or different perception of the situation or the emotion. So that's a very important emotional detox. Questions about that? Makes sense? Sounds like it? Boy, I got the talkative group, I can tell. All right, let's go to the mental. So mental is thoughts and belief systems. That's really what it's all about. If A is true, this is your mental belief system, then you plug in all the other rules that go with that. How the world operates. So a mantra is usually, for us in America, is in another language. So mantras have an vibration, and you're basically replacing whatever the thinking is that you're wanting to shift with this vibrational sounds that help you to release the plug-in into a belief system. How the world works when it's not necessarily true. You know, so if someone does something wrong, should they be punished? Well, some people believe, yep, they should be punished. Well, maybe you want to change that. Maybe you want to give some space so that you can hear more options. So then you might do a simple mantra that would, for example, one of the ones I use is a Tibetan chant for love and compassion. Om Matre Muye Salidu. So in English, that means nothing to any of us. But in Tibetan, it's saying that may love go into generosity, may generosity move into compassion. It's a really beautiful vibrational wish, because I want to change whatever is going on in my thinking. Because we all have these energetic patterns, our defaults, which says that person, cut me off in traffic. So blah, 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 blah. Well, if you want to change that, you want to find a mantra. Many times I'll recommend Diva Pramal's mantras for precarious times. Fantastic. O Matre Muye Sale Du is Tibetan. So you can look up mantras. Matter of fact, we do mantras in the Melchizedek method, right? Wendy? A lot of different ones with that. Kadosh is another one in there. That's another mantra. And you're looking for a mantra that helps you break an energetic thinking pattern. So because both Patricia and Jen are animal people, it's the same concept as trade. Your dog, whatever is, chewing on your leather shoe, and you want to teach them to stop doing that, and you do the command trade, so you're giving them a treat and asking them to trade the leather shoe for the treat. And then usually what they're doing is telling you that they're bored. So they're trying to teach you. But your trade and mantras are used for the same purpose. So that's a way of detoxing your mental thinking patterns, these energetic patterns that we've formed. It's also called conditioning. But so in the mental detox, the next one is probably one of the reasons people don't want to take this class, because I'm going to say you need to take a day off. Don't turn on your phone. Don't look at the TV. Don't pick up your cell phone. Don't be on your laptop, because the energy coming from all these devices drag on your energy field. And there are sometimes when you work with people, or I work with people, that their energy field is kind of fried right in front of them because they spend so much time on electronic devices and they're not doing something to detox that. So just taking a day off will allow your energy field to reorganize and strengthen, and it's a really powerful thing. It's very interesting because a lot of people can't do it. When my son left for college, so that was a long time ago, he left, let's say, he left on a Friday, and on Monday I turned in my internet box because I didn't watch TV. I wasn't a TV watcher. And of course he was horrified the first time he came home, but I didn't notice it. So it's those kinds of things where you go, oh, or if you go away on vacation, do you need to have a place where you have to have an internet signal? How dependent are you on that? Because just having a day off will do the detox. Your mind won't be running like the hamster on the wheel. And then the third option here for mental detox is journaling. And many times I'll suggest it as a form of detox, is that we have all these thoughts that are going on in our mind. So take the journal, take all the thoughts, put them in the journal, and now instead of them running around in your head, they're on this piece of paper that when the next time you want to look at them, you can. So it helps you to move the energy that's in your head or in your thinking, and we move it out of that system and in here. And you say to yourself, okay, I've taken it out of here. It can rest in here and I'll deal with that later, whatever time that might be. So any questions about that mental detox? Makes sense? Okay.
As far as the electronic detox,
Yeah.
would you recommend doing that once a month, or what frequency?
Well, it would depend upon like what you do for work, because right now a lot of people are working from this world of phones and tablets and laptops and things of that sort. So it would depend upon that. That would be the first area. And then how do they balance their exposure to this electromagnetic world? Do they go for a run? How do they do that? So for myself, I usually do once a week. And sometimes I do a half day, sometimes I do a full 24 hours. I douse it. So that's usually, it depends upon you and how you refuel your energy? But that's a good question. So you want to think about that. And then the last area is the spiritual. And you want to think about spiritual detox. There's a lot of shoulds in our world. This isn't necessarily that you should meditate, you should do this and you should do that. Meditation, a lot of people consider it, I can't meditate, because you're not doing it sitting there and you're in a mudra and your eyes are closed and you're able to sit for an hour. How fantastic. Which meditation is really, at least my Tibetan teacher, he just says it's mind training. You want to make your mind stable. Can you sit with yourself for a period of time every day? So that's a meditation. So like right now, I not only have the Insight timer on my phone, but I went through Sounds True, right? I think that's the name of the Sounds True. And they have currently a mindfulness. It's free. I think it's 40 lessons. Jack Cornfield and Tara. Oh, I'm so bad on their names, but they're doing it for free. Yes, that's who it is.
Mhm.
So it's a like 10 or 15 minute little audio. And they tell you a little bit about mindfulness, and then they lead you in a guided meditation. And so again, this is my way. I'm always curious. I'm always looking. I want to try this out. I want to taste it. I want to touch it. I want to experience it. So that would be what I would encourage you to do, is to say, all right, I'm going to meditate 10 minutes a day. Maybe that's what and you sign up for one of these kinds of things. Or you go on Insight Timer and you set the timer, or you listen to a podcast, and that's your 10 minutes. The key piece is that the goal is to detox the mind that's always going, so that there's more stability, more harmony, more peace. So that's the spiritual detox. Some idea. I also do breath work. That's a really great one. Or you could use the mindfulness practice out of the emotional area. Thich Nhat Hanh has so many suggestions, and that breathe in and breathe out. The Dalai Lama, his suggestion is close your eyes and focus in your mind on the tip of your nose. And then just do that as long as you can. I was like, these are two very experienced meditators, and how simple do they make it? So that would be ways to detox the spiritual energy of your system. When you go for nature, Mother Earth totally detoxes us. Just walking on the planet will detox your energy. And the one thing I would say is that you don't want to have the earbuds in. It's really just being quiet with nature, feeling the breeze, hearing the rustle of the leaves, listening to the chatter of the blue jays. And that will cleanse your energy field and have you appreciating the sounds and the smells and the feels of nature. And when you do that, it detoxes literally all of your energy field. It's a very high vibration of cleansing. And then the last one for the spiritual is is volunteering. When you volunteer, you're doing something outside of yourself, and you're recognizing that, I think Pema Chodron would say it the best. You're recognizing that this person's having a hard time, and you yourself could imagine that you would feel the same way in their situation. And what that does is it purifies and detoxes your energy field, because you have an appreciation for where you're at, and you develop where you want to wish them wellness, and that may they be happy, may they be well, may they have insight into their situation. So those are the 4 energy bodies that I was going to cover. But what I'm going to do is stop the share and then see if there's other questions. And then, like I said, you guys will be so amazed. I'm going to send that handout as soon as we hang up. I know. Don't fall over. So questions. Did you have something else that you were thinking? Was there something else that you thought, okay, energetic self-care, like chakras? I didn't talk about them. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't talk about like the treatments that you might seek out.
This is very true.
I mean, I know this is self-care, so maybe that's.
Well, energetic self-care, if you take care of the physical, which is one of the 4 aspects of yourself, then that's great. So if you go and get a massage, are you going to detox? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that would be great. Part of the teachings my clients have give to me is I do lymphatic work. Mm-hmm. So I've learned a great deal about how people detox and how fast this person can do it and how fast this person can't do it. I learned about myself. So and then of course, you know, because I work with the animals, I also have realized that they detox in their own way. Whereas humans need, you know, I got to do it here and I got to do it here and I got to follow this protocol. Animals, you can do 1 or 2 places and their systems are already like moving along. And that's because they don't have as much blocked energy as we do. And ours comes from our complicated system and our thinking and our emotions, and then our diet and our environment. And most of the time people know, especially in their physical, what are good for them and what's not good for them. They know. They don't really like the answer, but they know, right? Who wants to be told that they can't have chocolate? Not many people. I'm one of them. I can't have chocolate. So it doesn't like me. So that, you know, if you're looking at the physical, you know, a massage is really good. Somebody who does lymphatic work is really good. Craniosacral is fantastic because that's for the nervous system. I do visceral manipulation. So that would help with the liver and the kidneys. You know, so you get somebody that has body work background and they could help you in your detox, which would also help you in your energy self-care. In the emotional, it's like, what else could you do? Well, you can go get a therapist. A little talk therapy never hurts anybody. I've done EMDR. That's it's an eye movement process. That's a great body of work. So there's a lot of different tapping. That's a really fantastic body of work too, EFT. So you can look at, oh, okay, if you're not moving your emotional energy and you know it's stuck, everybody gets stuck. Everybody has stuff. I haven't met a single person on the planet yet who doesn't have stuff. life happens, parts of you get stuck, and it shows up somewhere in your world. It can show up in yourself, it can show up in your kids, it can show up in your relationship, your job, shows up in your animals, you know, and you go, oh, I hadn't thought about it that way. So the emotions you want to look at, okay, what helps me to move that energy? And sometimes it's calling your best friend, right? Hey, Susie, help. And then that helps you detox the emotional part. The mental, what would you do with the mental? Sometimes people do go to talk therapists that do cognitive behavioral, because that's where they're working with the thinking process. Another one that's really great in this is Psych K. That is amazing. I've done that. It's where they look at your subconscious belief systems, identify the ones that are blocked, and then they do the, for me as an occupational therapist, it was brain gym. They use a brain gym concept where you cross arms and stand on one leg and do all this stuff, and it redoes your energy. You know, I had a deep appreciation for that. It was very similar to a combination of brain gym and polarity. And the spiritual piece, I find for me that it's either finding a spiritual community or when you start getting into energy medicine and that kind of work, you start bumping into people's belief systems around how the world works and the way this world here operates. Because most of us have a different concept than what is really true. And that, you know, I would say animals probably have a better sense than we do. Right? I mean, that's my take on it. I mean, even in, so Wendy and I are in Melchizedek method class Friday, right? And the thing that most fascinates me about that is it's very spiritual and esoteric about its whole, the model of it. But the thing that's so fascinating is this idea of the holographic consciousness. And holographic just means that the micro, this one little particle, has the answers to the whole thing. So it's kind of a cosmology concept and model. I find that fascinating because in it is this, to me, it's like as you search for what is reality, I know that sounds like a big question, but when you do energetic self-care for these 4 bodies, what it does is it keeps your energy flowing throughout you in all your different aspects so that you can discover, oh, you know what? I used to think this way. I don't think this way anymore. Or, oh, someone used to cut me off in traffic and it used to just freak me out. And, you know, it doesn't do that anymore. There's more peace and harmony that is cohesively throughout you. And that is energetic self-care. You're balancing all of who you are. So, questions, comments, helpful?
Yeah, I think it's useful to break it down like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all interrelated. You know, some of these you could put in a different category, but I think it's helpful for me anyway, to break it down.
Well, it gives you choices.
Right.
You know, where's your stuck energy? you know. This person's might be here, this person's might be there, wherever it is. And then you can at least go, oh, okay, well, because honestly, if you do, let's say you decide it's emotional and you're going to do mindfulness, and you do mindfulness, that's the only thing you take away from today. Do you think that's going to affect your physical, your mental, and your spiritual?
Mhm.
Yeah. Makes sense, right? You could choose one thing and it could change the vibration throughout your entire system. Ever had an aha moment? One, you're like, holy smokes, I never thought of things that way. And when you do that, you feel changed. They actually have a whole body of work called transpersonal psychology, where you can't really measure the person's change, but the person tells you they feel different. They are profoundly changed or different after this event. So that's what started me thinking about energetic self-care is if a person just did one thing, that vibration could go through their entire system. And that's my wish for everybody. Because then what do we get to do? We change the planet. We're going to take it over. Oh, I better take that off the recording, right? But it's really, we make the world a better place.
Wow.
Ram Dass said that in one of his books, probably 100 times. He said the best thing you can do is to work on yourself. I was like, boy, that sounds simple. Not, right?
Well, there was a movie or a documentary of him. Did you see that? It was on like Netflix or something. You do?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I have it like on my queue of.
Yeah, it was called Becoming Nobody or something
That's
like
what it is.
that.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a beautiful thing. I watched it twice and took notes, and it was incredible.
Yeah, he's a pretty amazing person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah. I mean, he gave so much consciousness to the planet. And it's a pretty amazing, but it's in my queue. I have a list. Right? Yeah, we all have our list. So any other questions or comments? I can stop the recording. So, boop. And it says yes.